Michael Storm, anarchist of comic books and co-owner of Amazing Fantasies comic book shop here in Topeka, Kansas. And I am back with another look at brand new comic books for May 27th. But before we get into that, do me a favor and click that like button, click that subscribe button, whatever it is. You know what you need to do? Hulk out and smash, real Hulk smash that like button. Let us know that you're, look at all these comic books. Just let us know that you're out there and that you appreciate what we got going on. It's amazing. People actually miss me when I'm not here, or so I'm told anyway. We kick it off with Absolute because, well, it's A, and because it's absolutely the best of what comic books has to offer right now. The stories are strong, the characters are strong, there's a lot of support from the corporate offices. That always seems to help. Green Arrow, Absolute Green Arrow is back on here with the #1 because we get the foils this week. We get the shiny A cover foil, and then we get this cool logo foil, the Green Arrows Corporation logo. Absolute Wonder Woman continues, and with all the focus on the Absolute stuff, yes, there's Batman, that's one of the Robins, that's #20, huge book right now. Absolute Evil, we still have a couple of those left. Absolute Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Absolute Superman. And so with all of those, they're great, Absolute, we know. But there are also so many other wonderful storylines and stories being told in DC right now. Batman, the Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez Batman is amazing. Everybody is really digging on where it goes and the way they're introducing characters and the new take on that same familiar Batman, but different. Not entirely exactly like what you know, and it's even up for an award. Barbara Gordon Breakout is just getting underway. Detective Comics still running strong. Harley is up to 62. It's one of the longest running titles right now in the DC universe, with Poison Ivy pulling up real close behind. Superman not too far behind that as well. And I don't think Wonder Woman is as too, Wonder Woman's not too far off there, 33, 34, somewhere in there. Zatanna, she's only at 2, but she keeps getting new titles, she keeps getting new stories, and you don't do that if the character isn't bringing attention. Here's something that people have been waiting for. This is Batman 163. It's the ending of Hush 2, but then again, it's not. It continues, and it gets a little bit brutal there at the end. At least at the end of what is this book, anyway, where it goes from there. When it first came out, remember I said that it was going to be hard to do something. It's already been a struggle just in the release. But the trying to tell that story, Hush 2, when Hush, the big secret is who's behind the mask. How do you duplicate that again? Well, they managed to pull it off. JLA Avengers, this is actually a facsimile. If you did not know this, this is from back in 2003. It's a facsimile of a book, a 4-part series from back in 2003. And what's cool about this is one of the great ones, Kurt Busiek, George Perez. Truly just a great crossover event that Marvel and DC managed to pull off every once in a while. They did it again here not too recently. And the cool thing about this is while these books are attainable, they're attainable. They're not that expensive, probably about $12 a piece or something like that to go out there and get one. But here's the deal. These are only $6 a piece like this, so it's half the price, and you get to read that great story again. Superman, Father of Tomorrow. It's sort of a Elseworlds. Oh, wait, there it is, right there in the logo right there. Yeah, it's an Elseworlds title. It's a What If Superman. That's terrible. You can't use What If to describe Elseworlds. It's Elseworlds Superman. What if Jor-El came to Earth instead of Kal-El as an adult? This is, so speaking of great crossovers that Marvel and DC have pulled off, Superman, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Deadpool, Batman, all those here fairly recently. This is second print of Superman, Spider-Man, a couple of great covers that they went ahead and did some seconds of, including that Venom and that Dark Superman there. That was it, Dark Sun Superman, something like that. Here's another facsimile And I even created a whole special row for these because this is another one that follows. This is it here. This is the conclusion of the Dark Knight Returns storyline. The whole Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, Lynn Varney. I mean, this classic cover right here in foil is just amazing. But the fact that you can get these, well, if you skip the foil, you go for the regular one. It's only $5. I mean, these books are $20, $30, $40 for a reader, depending on which issue it is. So it's amazing that you can get such a great story, such a classic story, on modern paper. There's all sorts of advantages to it. Here's another facsimile. This is a sort of retelling, origin, rebirth of Swamp Thing. And then, of course, this is Swamp Thing 89. This is this crazy tale that was axed. They said, no way, we're not doing it, way back when. And now they've come back and picked it up. And there's some, I guess people were worried that maybe it would be a little bit offensive. But I guess if you're not being offensive, sometimes people aren't paying attention to you. At least that seems to be the way things work at the White House. Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity #2. Doom Quest #1, this is the big one, right? This is it's getting closer and closer to the next version of the MCU and all of the whole Doom / Iron Man storyline. And this is a bit of a fun one here. There's some great covers, including this Rose Bash. There's always some great covers, but the story in here, plenty of Doom bots. And Doom is dead, or he's not, or they're in time, or they're not, or they've gone back and or forward, or played somewhere else. What do Doom and a number of the rich detractors of the Federal Reserve have in common? Well, at the end of this book, they're all on the Titanic. Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, Echoes of the Empire, great storytelling going on in there. If you're not on the current Star Wars and you're a Star Wars person, there's some really great stuff happening in there. The slow, drug out conclusion to The Ultimate Universe continues. Wiccan and Hulk Raid of Ultimate. I just love the colors on this. This is one of the Voices books. This is celebrating a little bit of diversity. It was always a lie that there was no diversity in comic books. X-Men continues. Danger Room Part 5. There's just so much great stuff. Marvel is slow to release some of this stuff, it seems like. It just doesn't seem like they have as much stuff coming out right now, and who knows? What's going on in the background. I don't know if you pay any attention to it, but their comic book division was just turned over to the movie division, and I've always told you that the comic books, especially after the MCU really became a thing, 20 plus years ago now, that was what mattered to them, that they didn't care, that they could sell all the print all the comic books they want, and they could loss lead on every single one of them. It didn't matter as long as they were able to continue to use them as part of the storytelling for their movies. Well, that's not really ever been realized. Those movies haven't brought people back into the stores to read the comic books necessarily. It's definitely a small percentage of those people. Movie watchers and comic book readers are not necessarily the same people, even though they enjoy the same content in certain ways. And so it's never been realized. And so you're going to see, it's going to happen. You mark my words. The Marvel is going to be the first ones to do it. You're going to see AI produced work, and you're going to see them switching to digital and moving away from print as quickly as they can. It's going to take time, but they're going to do it. I guarantee it. And they're going to be the first ones to do it because they don't care about comic books. They don't care about Spider-Man. They don't care about Daredevil. Yeah, all the individual creators and the people that get involved with them, they love the characters and they want to do them justice and they want to do the best that they can for them. But the fact is the corporation doesn't give a damn about any of them beyond what they can make them in terms of money. So don't expect to see them respect them. and because they don't have to. And I think that DC is finding out that they need their comic books to drive people to their movies, because it doesn't seem to be going the other way around either. But they have such great cartoon movies. So I'm just rambling on here. Let me get wrapped up and finish this new Berserker story. That one's kind of fun. What about Pygmy Berserker? You'll have to read the book to find out about it. Club Nephilim, that is a club that exists in a realm that is hidden from God and the good guys, and there's sort of terrible things that have gone on there. But how good is it since the ladies have taken over and taken control of the club? Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Universal Monsters characters, just hot right now. Cryptid Corpse, yep, exactly what it appears to be. A core of cryptids. You got your Mothman there, you got your lizard guy, you got your Jersey Devil type, and your Sasquatch type, and this is what Mexico, the Chupacabra, something like that. But it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Mimi Green, she's in trouble. She's America's internet it girl, I guess, and she has caught up in a little bit of scandal and has run away, but she's run away into more trouble than she might have bargained for. This one's fun. It says Rick and Morty forever, and they mean it. It's not that this time it really ends. No, it doesn't. The new season 9 just started. Season 9 just started. Red Roots, Grit, the troll here, has come to claim his heads, and he's taken the girl. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. He's taking the girl off with him to his magical land, and they end up getting crossed up with this other guy that's out taking revenge, and we're not really sure where all of it fits in. But at the end here, there's some kind of big battle that's stirring up. So maybe they're brought in as some kind of warrior, something like that. Lucas Dreamwalker. This is R.L. Stein. And Francesco Francavilla. This is great. This is about a guy that's sort of hopping through different sort of dreams and times, from Western to the sort of 1920s, which is not a very big span of years. It's only like 60 years or something like that. 60, 70 years, something like that. But then even further and further, and man, what an ending. Great book. Lilo and Stitch 626, that tells you everything you need to know about that. If you know Lilo and Stitch, you know what 626 is. You know that's part of his heritage, the numbering of the experiments that this doctor guy here was conducting. Brand new Archie facsimile, classic there. But then what's really great about this is some of these other covers that that is just such a fantastic cover. And then look at this. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so much good stuff. Fireborn #2 is out. I have all 3 of Henchmen right there. Odin, if you didn't read that one's Hot of the Earth. Also a great read. So much good stuff. Capes is in here. If you didn't get on this one, this is, of course, As Seen on TV, Invincible, the cartoon, as well as a video game. Capes video game. If you didn't catch the first 6 of them, it's up to number 7 right now. That's the one that just came out. This fancy little collection of the first 6 issues is also available. How convenient, right? Well, that's the way we like to keep it. Look, if you're on a poll, you could win this bad boy. Signed, sealed, delivered, one of only 39 in existence. Just a little bit of fun. Nothing super, not the biggest, most valuable book in the world, but cool and totally free with no obligation. Some of these big guys: Complete UK Compendium, Transformers Volume 1. And while those sound the same, they're not. The UK Transformers, they change after the first 8 or 9 issues. Maybe it's not even that. They really are an entirely different beast, and a whole bunch of different stories in there. Turtles, first volume of that from the IDW stuff. Just so many things in here that I could just go on and on forever, but I got to go home and let you go and get out of here. But here's a complete collection, 1 through 19. They're all A covers except for one of them, I believe. And then we have a collected work of it. Every time we put something like this together, they've all sold. Well, did you notice I showed right at the beginning here, up here, these. So all of these Absolute Batman, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then the first annual. And they're all $20, $30, $40 books. It's crazy. And that's the only way you're going to get those A's, but there are other ways. There are various collections. That's what I was getting at with sort of pulling something like this together, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I'm out of the Batman ones at the moment, but of course we're waiting for more of them to come in because I don't see it slowing down anytime. All the haters just, it's got to blow up, it's got to fall out, it's got to break at some point. It's a modern book. It can't possibly hold its value. It can't possibly hold its interest. Stop listening to those people. Even if they're right, they're still wrong. You know the deal. And these wonderful books and all these things that I'm talking about, they may or may not be here when you get here tomorrow.